Hey everybody, thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to work on this water jasmine, also called, the scientific name is Rhytii religiosa. And it's a tropical tree. It also grows like a vine, very, very long tendril growth like this one here. And I've had this tree for quite a while, and I always used it as my stock plant, where I took cuttings and or air layers to propagate. And I had always decided I was going to turn it into a bonsai, but I just kept propagating and propagating and propagating and propagating. And so finally, I think it was last year, I took the last air layers that I had on here, and I finally decided that's it. So I've got enough cuttings and air layers now that I can take cuttings and air layers from them, and I'm going to turn this tree into a bonsai. And so I styled it, and I have a video on that, and I'll leave that at the end of this video that you can click on that link and watch that styling. And now I've let it recover, let it grow a little too much, obviously. And so today it's time for the cutback, and I'm not going to do any wiring on this tree, but I am going to cut it back profoundly, especially like this second branch. This is my first main branch, but it really has not produced any new growth, and now it's tiny. This used to be tiny, but now it's gotten way too heavy, so I'm going to cut the first main branch to right there. And I'm going to try to promote this branch to come out more. So everything else above it, I'm also going to cut way back. And then if we look, we don't need this one here. So, and you know, if we go like that, this tree has a nasty scar right there, but I like that scar in the front. And then we have nice movement. It moves this way and it moves front to back. And then this is the apex. And I'm going to cut it to about there. And I guess I may as well just finish the cutback. There we go. And I want to leave this because I need this to be thicker. Now I talked about directional pruning, and Rhytii religiosa is what is called an opposite grower. So if you look, the leaves are directly opposite versus other trees that are alternate growers. So, you know, I'm just going to snap this one off and snap this one off and snap this one off. And now it's an alternate grower. Okay, so alternate growers grow like that, and they grow in a whirl around. So when you're pruning for this, so I just pruned here. And of course I've got two potential leaders. So which one do I want as far as my motion? I wish I could get that guy out of the way permanently for the video. As far as my motion coming up here, coming up here, coming up here, coming up here, I want to promote this one to come up more, to keep the motion going. And if I let this one grow, it will just pretty much follow that same line as this part of the trunk. So how do you do that on a plant that has opposite growth? Well, basically, if they both emerge, which is very possible, once they're about an inch tall, then you just simply remove one. Now I could, in fact, just scrape that bud off right now. I could take the leaf and just kill that bud, and then this bud would begin to grow. So treating a tree that has opposite leaves is a little bit different than directional pruning on a tree that has alternate leaves. So I just wanted to mention that. Another thing about Rightii, which is what I call them, I almost never call them water jasmine, is that they flower sometime around April, May, with flowers that hang down, and they're super fragrant. And in fact, they're almost too fragrant. For me, they're like headache kind of inducing fragrance. It's like, whoa, just insane how fragrant they are. And they're pretty decorative. So this is a pretty popular tropical bonsai in Florida here. You see a lot of them, especially if there is a display or some kind of bonsai show that's in April or May when they're flowering. Then you might see 2, 3, 4 different water jasmines in the display to show off the flowers. So I like the way this tree is developing, and now I just need to be more diligent on my pruning. I do not need to let it elongate the way I did. So now the next time, like this guy here comes to 5 leaves, I'm going to cut it back to 1 or 2. All up in here, grow to 5 leaves, cut it back to 1 or 2, and begin to create more of a tree than to just let it grow like it did. So that's Rightii religiosa. And I have numerous, like I said, air layers and or cuttings, but they're all really long, they're really leggy, they don't look like much, because then I'm going to use them as cuttings and air layers. So they also need, you have to get to a point where you say, okay, I'm done using a tree for propagation and I'm now going to turn it into a bonsai. So even on those leggy, long cutting and or air layers that I took from this guy, when I do take the cuttings and the air layers from them, I try to create some kind of skeleton structure of a future bonsai. And so that's what I did with this guy. So if you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, you'll be able to watch this guy continue. And like I said, everything now, there may be some parts of this tree that still need to come off completely. So like the back branch is here, then we have another branch here, then we have another little tiny branch right there. You probably don't need all of those. So there still is some removal of branches, but for the most part, when it grows to 5, cut it back to 1 or 2. Except for this guy that I'm going to attempt to promote to grow really long, then cut it back, because it's just very weak. And this is a great example of when you do allow something to really elongate, just how much thicker it gets. So I probably left that a little too long, but there it is. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. You can watch this guy continue to develop. I think in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful tree. And of course, I've only been doing this for a year, so I just don't have that 2 and 3 year time period to show you. So I'm just, that's why I'm trying to hope to get more and more subscribers so I can keep my channel going. And then when that 2 and 3 year period does elapse, I'll be able to appreciate the time-lapse kind of development of these trees. But that time needs to pass before that can happen. So I truly appreciate all my subscribers, and that's about it for today. Rightii religiosa, also called water jasmine. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.